with this. Back to WWE we go. Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble might have been a last-minute decision. I will say I knew this before. Like I heard rumblings of this, and Jey Uso did say that he knew the day of. And you have stronger opinions than me about this. My opinion about this is just like, wow, it's crazy that I don't know. I just don't have such strong opinions about it. You do, but
Well,
I
I
have
don't
a new.
necessarily have strong opinions. I think it's more so. I mean, I have strong opinions about Jey Uso, but not necessarily this. I think it's interesting because he said that he didn't find out until the day of, like, late afternoon, that he was winning the Rumble. And so to me, I don't know, that seems odd just because Triple H has told us, like, I think it was when they were talking about WrestleMania 40 that they basically knew what Mania 40 was going to be in October, which means they already knew about the Rumble. They already knew about Elimination Chamber, like everything they already knew. So if that's the case, then why did Jey only know like the day of? Because I feel like it can't be, oh, it's a secrecy thing. No, because like Jey would have to just be quiet. You're just not going to go around and tell people and then it's going to get leaked to the audience or something, It makes me wonder if there was a different plan in place and then they just decided to go with Jey. And if that's what it is, I'm curious what was the original plan? Who was supposed to win, or how is the story supposed to... Well, and that's kind of how it felt, right? Because nobody predicted that Jey Uso was going to win. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when we're talking about like who people were guessing that were going to win and why in some arguments, it would have made more sense for other people to have won over Jey based on the stories that we were seeing, the teases that they had even before the Rumble,
the promos.
Like there's a reason why no one said Jey. It's not just because, oh, like they swerved us. No, it's because it felt like they just teased this with Cody. They teased this with Gunther. They teased this with Punk and Drew, So it seems like, okay, did you have an idea and then it fell through, or like were you just like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what stuck? Like what was it? And it's not trying to necessarily take anything away from Jey Uso being the winner, but I just like kind of scratch my head a little bit because we've been fed that Triple H is a planner and he like thinks these things through and it's months in advance. So it seems odd that you would wait until the day of to tell the Rumble winner, especially somebody who has never won the Rumble, never main evented like at WrestleMania in a singles capacity. Like you would wait until the day of to tell him. That just seems odd to me. But
to me, it seems like they had a few different ways. And from what I heard from friends of mine who have an ear, sources, whatever you want to call it, it felt like they had a couple options of where to go. And after Jey winning and seeing Raw, Netflix, NXT, whatever, it feels like they have a plan for Mania, but they just don't know how to get there.
And I think that's bad.
Oh, I don't mind that.
I don't. Okay, so
it's just filling in the pieces.
I
it's
know,
like,
but,
all right, here's our main event, but like, how are we gonna get there?
That's when they start to get messy, and when things don't make sense, or like that. And that's when they start to force things or rush things, and that's when I do have a problem because, Mania happens every single year. Like that is a huge event that you say that you plan for months in advance. So to me, there's no excuse for you to then be sloppy or get lazy or to rush things, because that was the case with quite a few of the matches last year. We didn't find out about some of them until like a week or two before Mania, and it felt forced. And that was why it was like no one was really invested. And that included like Jimmy versus Jey. Like they did rush that. They didn't properly build that up. So that's why I do take an issue with it, because like I do want to be invested in as many of the Mania matches as possible. Like I want to care about, if I can, all of the matches at Mania, because like that's how it's supposed to feel. Like Mania is supposed to feel different than just a random Saturday PLE. So I feel like when they don't put the proper care and effort into it, it's very noticeable. And it just kind of takes the excitement away from it, because then you're like, okay, this was just thrown together last minute. This doesn't really make sense. Or like, I have to put my wrestling brain in because like I'm supposed to not care. And that's not always fun.
See, it doesn't feel that it was completely last minute with everything in the match. It felt like the Punk Rollins Roman exchange felt very, very planned, and that's why I see people in the chat here saying that CM Punk 100% is the Rumble guy. To me, it just felt like it was either Cena or Jay, and it was all about who's just gonna go over.